Jordan at the Avon party about her. She has a lot of projects coming up. Oh my goodness.
Do you want me to go over them? Because it's a lot.
Well, I am personally most excited about Wicked in Your Arms.
Thank you. I'm very excited. Wicked in Your Arms comes out July 30th, and I've never written the whole Prince story before. So I have a Prince, and his name is Sebastian, like with a B and not a B, which I think is very sexy.
Which tripped me up a little bit.
Well, and everyone calls him Sev. It's not like Sev, Sebastian. So, he's a prince, and his country just came out of, like, a big revolution. So he's got, like, a couple tasks to help, he needs to marry, fill up the nursery, produce heirs, and then he has to help replenish the coffers, the treasury in the country. So he needs someone rich, he needs an heiress, and with good breeding, to be his queen. And
our heroine does not fit the bill.
Not at all. Not at all, of course you can. So he comes looking for, he has this idea of what he needs to bring home. And he finds Greer, who's kind of tomboyish. She's illegitimate. Even though she has a great dowry, she's illegitimate, and that really he can't overcome that. She can't overcome that. So that makes her, like, totally unsuitable.
So, this is the first book in the Forgotten Princesses series.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about what the series is? Will they all be about different characters, or what are the threads that are in common?
Well, the Forgotten Princesses are daughters, they're illegitimate daughters of a very, very wealthy, in my mind I think of him as sort of like the Tony Soprano of London. Like he's like lord of the London underworld, so he's not appropriate at all. He's unsavory, even though he has so much wealth. How he got his money makes him rather unsavory. So the next book is her half-sister, and then Cleo, who you'll meet in Wicked in Your Arms.
So these books are kind of Victorian era historical romances.
Right.
What attracted you to this time period? Do you think there's something particularly romantic and sexy about it?
I think it's the social constraints. Everybody likes Regency, and I love a good Regency too, but it was kind of looser then. They could get away with a lot more in Victorian area, and this is pretty early Victorian, but still the social constraints were so much more severe. And these are illegitimate girls, and yes, they have dowries that are king's ransoms, but they're illegitimate. So they still have a lot to overcome. They might get invited to the party, but they're talked about behind the fans.
So what attracted you to writing about these kinds of couples? The kind of unlikely couples. Why do you think that is interesting to you?
I mean, they're ill-fated. I mean, there's no way, between Sebastian and Greer, and there's aspects of him. She doesn't want him. He's a snob. He looks down his nose at her, and he can't be attracted to her. It's just writing, opposites, yet finding something they have in common. Maybe in a way they're both lost souls. They both have something inside them that reaches to each other.
Well, so I have to ask this to a romance novelist. What is your favorite love story of all time?
Romance novel, just traditionally.
Just love story, couple.
Probably. I would say Romeo and Juliet without the ending. Right? Or Isabel and Tristan. I like that one. Well, it's very much Romeo and Juliet too. But the ill-fated, odds are against them totally. But in the world of romance, in the world of Sophie Jordan, they would get their happily ever after. They have to overcome those odds and those obstacles.
Well, if a reader wanted to be introduced to the romance genre, is there a novel that you think someone has to read?
I probably cut my teeth. The first historical romances I read were a lot of Victoria Holt. I loved her, the romance. She always had a thread of suspense in them. I would always recommend that, and then from there I probably went into some Johanna Lindsay, some early Lindsay I really loved. The Magic of You is probably my all-time favorite. And for me, it was kind of a groundbreaking romance too, because that was one of the first times I've ever read a heroine that kind of knew what she wanted and went after it. And now we read a lot of that actually in romance, so we have a lot of empowered females in romance.
Oh yeah. Well, I know you write YA as well. You write paranormal. You have a lot on your plate. Your teen book, Vanish, is coming out in September. So how do you balance writing all of these different series and promoting the books, which it seems like more than ever now, romance authors are tweeting and interacting with readers so much?
I do stay busy, you know, online, on Twitter, on Facebook. I really just take it a day at a time, you know, and a book at a time. I focus on writing. Obviously, I write about 3 books a year, and I have to get those deadlines made, meet my quota of the day, spend a little time on the marketing, spend a little time with my husband and my children, you know. It's a balance, it's a juggling routine, but I love it. I love reading and writing. So, you know what, if you're doing something you love, it's work, don't get me wrong, but it's not painful, if that makes sense. It's not engaging with readers online. I love it.
Well, another personal question for a romance novelist. What would you say is the most romantic thing that has happened to you in your real life?
Most romantic thing that has happened to me in my real life?
Anything that has provided you with some personal inspiration for your novels?
Okay. Well, you know, I've been married a few years, and I was trying to get published, and it's a battle, it's a struggle. You know, you write, you get rejected, you send it out, you submit. And I think I had my hopes. I really wanted to attend it was a conference, and we just didn't have the money at all. And it was just a lowering day. I'd gotten like another rejection letter in the mail. We didn't have the money. My husband is very responsible. We live within our budget, and I was sad, not crying to him, but kind of off crying and moving. And he came and he bought the airline ticket for me to go. See, now I get a little weepy because, you know, it's just something he did. I mean, that was out of love, more than even support. I mean, obviously he was supportive of my dreams, but, you know, I think that was romantic to me. You know, that was loving.
Can you tell us a little bit about what, you said you write 3 books a year, what's coming up? Vanish.
Yes, I have, first coming up is Wicked in Your Arms, you know, Greer and Prince Sebastian's story. That comes up July 30th. And I have a paranormal romance I write under Sherry Kohler, and that's coming out, Night Falls in the Wicked, in the fall as well. And then Vanish is my second YA romance novel, and it comes out on September 6th. And it's the sequel to Firelight. So, you know, romance is in there 3 times a year for me.
Wow. Well, do you see any differences between writing for teens and writing for adults? Is the process different for you?
You know, I think romance is at the core of every story I write. So that's my underlying element. You know, it's always there. It might vary in degree in my YA, but so I'm always writing a love story. And even the readers are interested. It's interesting. I feel like I'm meeting YA readers now in their late teens and early 20s.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of our readers are
reading. I'm reading the future romance readers. You know, they're starting out reading YA, and they probably will continue to read YA, but they're also just now getting introduced to historical romance, adult romance. So I'm catching them early.
Thank you so much, Sophie, for talking to me and talking to book page readers. Pick up Wicked in Your Arms out at the end of the month.